Hello everyone, it's Kirsten again from Water's Edge Tarot. I'm just here to give you your weekly reading. Kind of like a little overall of what to expect for the week. I apologize that there was no video last week. We were remodeling the office and I just wasn't able to have the space nor the mentality to be able to do a reading, let alone post the video. So, sorry about that, but I think we're right on track to be able to start doing weekly readings again, so we got that going for us. And eventually you guys might be able to see what the remodeled office looks like. Not that you know what the old office looked like, but trust me, this is way better. So I just want to remind everybody that the cards are a reflection of your higher self and what your higher self already knows. You are the manifester of your own destiny, so please don't blame the cards. Your actions are your own. Take responsibility as needed. And I just want to say, I really hope everyone had a good weekend. I know mine was a bit challenging with the new moon's energies coming at me. I mean, there was a lot that came up that I wasn't expecting, so let's just hope for, you know, an easier week. Mine was very emotional. I hope the rest of you had a happy weekend, though. Alright, these cards just really want to keep being shuffled, like... Alright, I think we're almost there. Alright, here we go. Starting the reading. Weekly reading. So, you know, the first card is kind of where we're going at into the week. It's kind of our starting point just to see, you know, where we're at. And here we have the King of Coins. He's a cool guy. King of Coins. He's all about knowing what he's doing. He knows how to handle his finances. He knows how to handle his energy, his time. Overall, you know, very level-headed, very fair-playing person. I want to remind you, though, and this is something that is easily forgotten with the Pentacle suits. Pentacles isn't just money. Pentacles is anything that is tangible, and your time is tangible. Your energy is tangible. Your overall physical well-being is tangible, and that he embodies all of that. And when we have the King, it's just saying you're overall really well balanced and utilizing all of that, and that's a great place to be moving forward, because I don't know about you, but my weeks can get kind of chaotic, so starting out as the King of Coins is a bit promising for me. Alright, the next card is kind of our inner self or growth card, and here we have the Page of Cups. Pages are all about youth and new. Not necessarily youth and age as far as, like, you know, a young person, which is how a lot of people like to perceive this card. It's more as a new to you, a new experience, like the first time you bake bread. That's a new experience. It's a young experience. It's your first step as a young baker. Whether you're 50 and baking your first loaf of bread, 70 and baking your first loaf of bread, it's still young. That's what this represents here. And the Page of Cups is new and a new heart space, because cups are all about our emotions, and our emotions deal very heavily with our heart. So here we just seeing ourselves stepping into a new heart space, which is always a fun place to be. It has its own excitement because of its own innocence. It's a place that is new to us. And a lot of times when we're in our own heart space, we find it that we're just kind of happier. We don't have the heavy load of burden on us. And we're just overall generally more excited about whatever it is that's coming our way, which is a great place to be. So let's see what our next card is. And this is kind of what represents our obstacles and challenges. And here we have the Three of Coins. Three of Coins is about learning. He is a learning scholar. He's a learning craftsman. He's a learning artisan. He's learning how to perfect his gift. And I don't like to use the word perfect in the sense of going for perfection. I like to say it in more of a sense of way of perfecting your own version of your skill. So when it's something that you can do that becomes more second nature, when your body just knows and your mind's ready and you can do it without having to remember the step-by-step process. The master artisan or the master craftsman is somebody who can produce something and produce it wonderfully with ease. And the ease is the version of perfection that we're often looking for. So here we have someone who is building, he is working, he is very about making sure that what he's doing is doing it right and doing it to his satisfaction. With that, perfectionism is something that we have to worry about, because perfectionism can be something that can hold us back. Don't wait for things to be perfect, just wait for things to be done and be happy with the results. If you know you can do better next time, but present what you still have. The next card, and this one is our opposite, or what to embrace / what to release. And here we have the Five of Wands reversed. So wands are about action, and this is obviously about confrontation. It's a very confrontational card. It's a lot of times, a lot of people just see this as like an all-out brawl. That's really not what it is. It's just a conflict of, we're going to say conflict of interest, but interest in what actions need to be done. So one person thinks that this is the right way to wash dishes. Another person thinks that this is the right way to wash dishes. What matters in the end is that dishes get washed. It doesn't matter how it's done. When the card is reversed, though, we are kind of realizing that we're just arguing over how to do dishes, which is the point of the Five of Wands. Is that, you know, everyone has ways that they want to do things, and everyone has systems put in place of how things should be done. And when it's reversed, we're like, okay, well, we realize that we have systems and we realize that we have ways, but maybe we don't need to keep going at each other as long as we get the results that we need. Because wands are about action. They're about doing. They are very, very, you know, moving type of card. And so when you have conflict in action and conflict in movement, it's still, things are still moving and still things are getting done, but the results are coming out scattered. When it's reversed, we're like, hey, we're tired of these scattered results. How about maybe we come together and find a simpler solution? So embrace the idea of compromise and embrace the idea of finding a solution, whether it be conflict within your own self. Maybe you are just stretching yourself thin and doing more than you should, and you need to realize, hey, maybe instead of multitasking these 8 things, I can drop 3 of these things and really just kind of focus on these 5. And then once you get these 5 done, you'll find that, you know, the other 3 things, okay, you know, they weren't as complicated as they needed to be. Just really focus on the ability to compromise what it is you need to do. The next one is kind of our support, kind of our advice. And here we have the Five of Swords. Ooh, guys, we have a lot of change going on in our lives. Fives are all about change. They are a number that says things are going to happen. So Five of Swords is conflict of mind, conflict of thoughts, conflict of ideas. For me, though, Five of Swords is a very personal card. The Five of Wands is normally involving somebody else, but it also can be self. Five of Swords is typically you having conflicting ideas of what it is that you want, what it is you expect, what it is you think you need. And I like to think of the Five of Swords as a child throwing a temper tantrum about the fact that they want to touch a hot plate. We know that the hot plate's going to burn our hands, but the child doesn't understand that. And a lot of times when we are in the Five of Swords, we're kind of throwing our own temper tantrum in a way that we're not getting what we want, but we don't realize that what we want isn't necessarily what's best for us. Or maybe we do know that. Maybe we know we shouldn't eat a whole pack of Oreos, but we still want to do it, but we're looking for the comfort at that point. So with the Five of Swords being reversed, we're coming to realization that, you know, maybe things aren't as rough as they need to be. Maybe we do need to understand that, you know, we just have to let go of a few things. Maybe we do need to change our perspective and see things from a different angle. Maybe we don't need to be as hard on ourselves, or maybe we need to be more forgiving towards our thoughts of another person. Five of Swords is really just about how you think, and if your mind is conflicted, then you're not going to go far. But if you can take a step back and allow yourself to see things from a different perception, from a different angle, you're going to find that maybe it wasn't as complicated as you thought. And that's something that can be hard to embrace. But that's why this is the thing that's like, this is the advice that you need in order to get through the week. So let's pull our last card here, and this is the overall message for the week. And here we got decisions. Two of Swords, decisions. We have two decisions. We are holding two swords, and we just can't decide which sword to put down first. To be honest, it doesn't matter which one you put down first. Just put the swords down, take the blindfold off, and you can go forward. A lot of times when we have the Two of Swords, we're paralyzed by indecision. And indecision itself is you being afraid to make the wrong choice, when really the wrong choice is no choice. So here, we need to do whatever it is we need to do to make a choice. And you know what? Say option B wasn't the way you were supposed to go, well then fine. It's not that hard of a deal for you to go back to option A a lot of times. Now, of course, if you are saying, well, this has got to do with me changing my career and job, I just want to point out that at that point, you already know what your answer is. You just need to allow your heart to open up to that idea. Because indecision sometimes is that you already have made the decision. You're just not willing to accept the decision that you've already made. You don't want to deal with the consequences of the decision that you've made. You are afraid of moving forward because those consequences just seem so overbearing that you're going to be like, nope, I'm just not going to make the decision even though I know what the decision is. So overall here, we got a lot going on, guys. We really do. But it makes sense because so we start out being the King of Coins and he's like, I got it all under control. I know what's going on. Everything's balanced in harmony. My time, my energy, and my health, it's all doing great. And then we got the Page of Cups and he's like, but we're in a new area. And you know what? New areas are what they are. It's kind of like walking into high school, your freshman year, first day being, I don't know this school. And then as you continue forward, you're like, all right, I'm going to perfect my skill. I'm going to work on my craft. And then when you do that, there is conflict. There's just no way to avoid conflict when you're doing something new. Whether it be conflict of self, conflict with another person, conflict is there. But both of these cards are reversed, which means that we're not going to stay in that conflict and that the conflict is already on its way to a compromise, already on its to an easement. Which then leads us to the fact that we still need to make that decision. And that decision, whatever decision we make, it's going to be the right decision as long as we make the decision with a clear mind and we go forward with clear and decisive actions. If we keep going back and forth, if we get wishy-washy, that's when things are going to happen. That's when there's going to be problems. I want to point out here, let's see if I can move this card out better so you guys can see it, that he is carving with a chisel onto a shield. Every decision he makes is a definite decision. It's not something that he can go back on. The etch is there. And we need to remember that we need to move forward with that kind of decisiveness. That we need to understand that every action we do leaves a mark, and that sometimes you just have to go with what you've already set in place. Or decide that what I've set in place isn't right for me and change directions. That is perfectly fine too. My advice overall for this week is just to embrace what is in your heart. New territory, new area is very scary. And a lot of times you just get overwhelmed and so overburdened with these ideas and these thoughts and the things that you want to do that you lose focus. So if we stay focused and we remember to listen to our heart instead of letting everyone else's ideas or our own scattered thoughts, lead us away, we won't have to worry about the conflict of action so much, and then we'll find that the Two of Swords is an easy decision. We put the one sword down, we hold the other sword, and we use it to carry us forward. And that's where we really need to be, is moving forward. So with that, that's the reading for the week. I hope everyone has a blessed week, and I hope to see you again next Sunday.